So today on Straight Talk, I'm with three esteemed instructors. I'm with Mark Violan, Chuck Boutal, and Destry Ransdell. And these are all, I would say now, they're veterans at virtual training, and they all do classes with the Restoration Technical Institute. So gentlemen, welcome to this segment of Straight Talk.
Hi, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So I know not everyone might know you. I bet everyone knows you. Maybe not. But we'll go. When you start talking, tell us your name. But here's the thing. I know that you all teach some of the same classes and maybe some different ones. So why don't you tell us what's coming up at RTI that you're going to be teaching? And Mark, why don't we start with you?
Okay. Well, this is Mark Violan, and I've been, the classes that I have coming up at Restoration Technical Institute are the carpet cleaning technician class, which is coming up in September on the 15th through the 17th. That's a 3-day class. And then the carpet repair and reinstallation technician class is in October from the 20th to the 22nd.
Sounds good. All right. And how about you, Chuck? What do you have coming up?
End of August, last week, the 25th through the 27th, we've got a WRT. And then the first week of October, we're actually doing something completely different, which is basic construction. It's the fundamentals of construction and how to do simple tasks like reseat toilets and exciting things like that.
Not hugging toilets, huh?
Not hugging them. That's easy.
Okay.
I have to say, that sounds like a unique class for our industry. Maybe I'll sign up for that one. All right, Chuck.
And the name of that, Chuck, what was that again?
Basic construction.
Basic construction. Yeah. We got a lot of people that not sure what we call a sill plate or a bottom plate.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Technically, sill plate, as I've discovered, is really the bottom plate of a window sill. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people call the bottom plate, like I've always known it as a sill plate in the home, but it's technically the bottom plate and the top plate. But man, they call it bottom plate, base plate. You'd be amazed at the words they come up with for it. But yeah,
Chuck, we knew all that already. Come on, maybe I won't take that class.
It's all done now.
All right, good deal. How about you, Destry? What do you have coming up?
I have one coming up August 4th. It's the live stream WRT, and then we'll be looking to schedule some additional through the remainder of the calendar year, possibly looking at maybe doing even some evening courses. We've kind of had a consistent schedule of through the day. We're seeing that maybe you can go to work, you do your regular routine at your restoration office or out in the field, and then maybe go back to the comfort of your home or maybe in the office and do an evening course over the course of an expanded period. So we're looking at also putting that on the schedule for the remainder of the year, maybe sometime in the near future.
All right.
The next one is August 4th to August 7th, 10 to 4 Eastern Time.
Yeah, all these classes are on the ISSA.com website under events for RTI, so folks that are watching this can find that information there. So doing a class in the evening sounds cool. I know when I've taught classes in the past, it seems like all the students work all night. You know, their bosses send them to work all night and then come to class the next morning. So you're just reversing that, Destry. You're just turning that around. So, all right. So let's talk about the nuts and bolts of doing these classes. When you teach a class, when you've done some of these in recent months, what are some of the special challenges that you've had to push through? And any of you can talk. It's been easy, has it?
There you go. Yeah, it's actually been the most, I guess, interesting challenge is keeping everybody engaged. You know, when everybody's in the classroom, there's a lot of social interaction. And we actually have an issue with sometimes with people talking to each other and having too many war stories going around. Now it's actually the other way around. But with the Zoom program and platform we're using, their ability to chat back and forth, people are getting more and more used to it. The last class we did, I had 83 chats before noon. So it was almost like we had to put it back under control. But changing your PowerPoint in your entire presentation to keep everybody engaged is probably the most difficult thing.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's asking the questions, asking the students to unmute, actually giving them permission to unmute themselves. Say, okay, class participation time now. Unmute yourself and let's discuss this. So
Yeah,
it's. Go ahead.
No, I believe with Zoom, it's a privacy thing. You can't unmute them.
Yeah.
They have to do it themselves, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So push and hold the space bar that unmutes you, and then you can share.
All right. Well, listen, I have to think there's got to be some things going on a Zoom class or virtual class that make you laugh, right? So what do some of your students do or don't do that you want to talk about?
Well, in the class, I'll just share, in the class that I, yesterday, our RT class, and the class was starting at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I'm not sure where that student was, but I don't know where they live. I knew where they were at the store checking out and then driving back to their home or office to hook up to their computer and get online. So yeah, traveling in their service vehicle, okay. No, well, we need you there.
I guess they were there, but maybe they weren't there.
They weren't able to look at the manual and follow along.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What else? What do you see?
We get the more interesting group. Most of them are in their office or whatever else, but we get people in their houses and in all different states of dress and everything else. And, most people don't take into the background. And I guess the easiest ones or the most common ones is the dogs and the kids running, through the living room while they're on the only computer that has a webcam out there. It's always kind of interesting, but it also brings a little different, I don't know, just feel to the whole situation. It's almost a little more laid back, but yeah, I'm not too sure zooming and driving is a good thing. Might be a new law here coming out fairly soon.
That could be. Well, I'm sure Desk Street students are sitting at their desk paying attention.
Well behaved. Well behaved. I'm a strict enforcer. I said it straight on the first day. We spent about 30 minutes. No, you have all sorts. I try to remind them. I put it to them that when you go to take your exam, it's based off of photoregistration. So they got to see you, and you can't have interruption behind you. We're starting to better understand. And we want that view of you during the class as well. And we have people that are, sliding off to the left, they're down, they're going to turn their video screen. I had one, I think the first one I did with RTI, of course, it's probably newer to everyone, like what Chuck was saying. Maybe you don't want to be on camera, so you were a little shy in that manner. And I thought I was offending the person that they didn't want to turn the camera on. They kept on wanting to turn the video away, and that's part of the requirement. Maybe we're looking at enforcing. I've had people drive to and from jobs, had people drive to and from, and let's pay attention to the drive. The part is, and I remind them, if you were sitting in a classroom, you're not going to be able to drive to the store. If you were sitting in a classroom, you're not going to be able to drive to a job. In bed, just rolled over, rubbed her eyes, and headboards the background, talking about you can change your. It wasn't a virtual background. It was their actual. It was the real thing. So very relaxed natured, and had their manual there. So it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I was a little fearful of it at the beginning. Thought it would be some challenges, but I really enjoyed it. It's a little bit different format to get the students engaged and to get them excited, but I've enjoyed it here recently. And I think it's a great format, but just fix and fine tune a few items. Maybe put a law in all the 50 states of no zooming and driving, like Chuck said.
Maybe that'll come to us one day, but at least you're doing it. You're doing these classes, and I know other instructors are as well, but the education has to continue. And I have to think that Destry, you with us? Destry?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just experienced what you're talking about.
One of the things that that I miss, having being teaching classes for over the last 25 years, the part that I miss is the social interaction. I miss the breaks. I miss the lunches. RTI does a great job with lunches and breaks and everything else. They always have that. But besides that, it's the conversations that take place during the breaks that don't take place during class time. It's the questions that get asked of the instructor. They really don't want to be embarrassed by letting everybody know that they really didn't know some piece of information. That's the social part that I miss in doing live stream classes.
Yeah. I know during your breaks, Mark, because I've sat in your class a time or two, you run funny videos.
Yes.
Do you still do that?
I still do, but not as many. I mean, the info. I am surprised when I did an outline. All of the information that I share in a class, the carpet cleaning class, the RRT class, I go, oh my goodness gracious, no wonder their heads are exploding by at the end of the class. Yeah. That's a lot of information. Like when all of this started unfolding and trying to learn how to do live stream classes, I felt like taking a drink out of a fire hose. I mean, it was coming at so fast to have to adapt to this live streaming now, which
right.
My brother Chuck said, Mark, you know the information, just start talking. He's right.
Yeah, get it out there, but you do want to keep it engaged. Otherwise, they'll do what Destry did. They'll kind of slide down below. Off camera.
A little Kilroy on everybody.
But you know what? It sounds like you guys have a good time with your students, and they're learning, they're taking the exams, and enjoying it as well. So that's why your classes are filling up. You know, they do value what you're doing. What do you think as far as the future of training? Do you think this is a platform we're going to keep with us? I know eventually we'll have classroom training again, but do you want this to continue?
I'm okay with it. You know, I can sleep in my own bed. I'm not traveling. You know, even though travel is nice, but it gets old. But again, the social aspect I miss.
Yeah.
But as far as getting the information across, I hate to say it, but I think I teach a better class. My students are receiving more information. How about you guys?
Well, I definitely agree with that. I mean, literally, I think what's happened is we've built in more checks and balances. And the main thing I see about these online classes is we've had people from Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Canada, all over, literally north and even a few out of South America. And they normally would have never been able to acquire this information. Yeah. And now that we can give this information out, and for everybody who, wants the hands-on classes, we're going to continue them at RTI. As a matter of fact, Destry's coming in and doing a hands-on ASD in 2 weeks. And then basically, God willing, and the COVID doesn't rise, we'll be basically looking at an AMRT at the end of the month into September. And next year we're planning on summertime having the classes as well. So I think some people will continually come out for the hands-on and the camaraderie experience, and probably, like Destry said, the food at RTI. And but when it comes down to it, a lot of people just don't have that ability to get on airplanes or take 3 days off of work and a day on the front and the back side as well to get to and from a place. And I think it's awesome. I mean, literally, I'm going to be able to pick up my last master's only because it's been forever to wait for a course that was in my area to go take a one-day course to get my last master's, and now it's going to be online. So,
nice.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I've always limited my training for the most part on the Eastern Seaboard or Midwest because of travel. Yep. So I'm sure that if someone wants to use you as an instructor in California, much easier proposition to to take than in the past when you had to travel there.
Yeah, we even had a guy from Australia in Tony Macaluso's odor control class last week. He was
Wow.
getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning Australian time. And
Oh my goodness.
He evidently liked it enough that we signed up for either Destry or Mai's WRT, which will be another 1 o'clock in the morning for him all day. So
You'll have to make sure he's out of bed. Keep an eye on him, Destry.
yeah, he was pretty good there. Actually, just the last day he was having some issues because he wound up working till 10 o'clock at night, never got a chance to go to sleep. So he was telling Tony,
rough.
if I'm falling asleep a little bit, no offense to the instructor, but I'm doing my best. But
you know what? That attitude is nice to hear. You know,
really
he
is.
wanted to be there. Yep.
You know, and it's just an opportunity that wasn't there before. And now,
Right.
you know, people can get it. And I mean, if you're working on a team of 15 or 20 people already that have a fair amount of experience, you know, taking a course online gives you the fundamentals, but the OJT is where it's at anyway. So there's not a heck of a lot of difference, but I do kind of like the hands-on. I mean, we spent 2 years making RTI the best hands-on place and there was, and hopefully we get to use it.
You all will be back in the real classroom one day again, but it's nice to see this virtual component, and it probably will continue. And so we'll have options. You know, isn't that what it's all about, having options? And I do know from my training in the past that people don't come to a class not so much because they don't want to or it's the money, it's the travel, and it's the time off work. So, So good work to all three of you. I tell you what, let's let a few weeks go by, develop some more interesting stories, and we'll share them again.
That's it. We'll keep
Sounds like a great idea.
Maybe we can share some clips. There you go. Some online blooper clips for you.
That's got it.
I'm sure we have to get permission by those in the clip, but you do that and you bring it to us, and we'll put it out there.
Sounds great.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.